Hello, everyone. My name is Alexis, and on behalf of the Endometriosis Network Canada, I would like to welcome you all to our first virtual EndoMarch. Please get comfortable, grab your yoga mat if you haven't already, and let's enjoy this special time together. I encourage everyone joining me to post a photo of yourself participating on social by using the hashtag Virtual EndoMarch Canada, and let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. For anyone tuning in that's unaware of who 10C is, we are the first and only registered Canadian charity dedicated to endometriosis. Our purpose is to facilitate and promote a patient-centered approach to managing endo. We are working tirelessly to provide a support network accessible nationwide through the use of online forums, social media, and in-person support programs. All right, to kick off this event, we're going to have a giveaway. I've got these two fantastic books here as prizes, Living with Endometriosis and Beating Endo. And here I have a very large vase full of buttons and yellow ribbons, and we're asking that everyone try to guess how many are in the jar. Look for the pinned post in our chat and be sure to reply to that post with your guess. Only replies to that post will be counted, and there's only one guess per person. First correct guess will get first choice of book. Okay, I am so thrilled to announce our first speaker. She is a very familiar face within our community, and I am so honored to have her here with us today. I first heard this wonderful woman speak a few years ago at the Toronto EndoMarch event, and it was her passion that sparked my own desire to get involved. Everyone, this is Jan Silverman.
For years, I have had the privilege to sit on the board of 10C, the Endometriosis Network of Canada. In addition, I have facilitated the Toronto support group for probably close to 25 years. I commonly get up at the annual EndoMarch event to rally the troops, to get the energy and enthusiasm started for the incredible speakers that always follow. Of course, this year is different. I am sitting at home looking at my own image on a screen instead of gazing on a crowd of passionate people dressed in yellow, ready to stand up and cheer and feel the understanding, love, and support from the others in the crowd. Although my enthusiasm and passion is still very much there, woohoo! This year, I, like so many others, have had ample time to look within, pause, reflect, worry, and wonder. I wonder how everyone is physically doing. How have pain symptoms been managed? Have they been managed? I wonder how people have been able to get what they need, the medications, the pads, the unique foods that may help. I worry about people being unable to access the services that after so much trial and error that you have determined have been helpful to you. Your pelvic physio appointments, your naturopathic doctor, your massage therapist, your acupuncturist, just to name a few. I wonder how anyone can even think about paying for these services when so many that were able to work are now out of a job. And those who were looking for work have lost their opportunity. I fret about missed appointments, how it feels for those to have had long-awaited doctor appointments canceled and long-awaited surgeries postponed. I worry about coping with that enormous disappointment. Hard enough to wait months and even years to get to see the right healthcare professional. That much more challenging to see it disappear. I am concerned that the limited resources that were directed to endo research will dry up I so understand and appreciate the need to find a vaccine, a cure, a greater understanding of COVID-19. But please, not at the price of losing out on the much needed endo research. I wonder how it has felt for so many to be distanced and isolated for months. We already know that endo is an isolating condition. Too often we are surrounded by friends and family that still do not understand the enormity of how much this disease impacts on everything to do with your life. We know how challenging it can be to try and explain endometriosis to work colleagues, to our boss, and to potential people that we may want to date. But this is what today is all about. Today, even virtually, we join together, we celebrate, we cheer, we look, we listen, we learn. We look around at all the people joining with us today, those with endometriosis and those incredible support people. We listen to the stories of living with endo. We hear of the strategies, the strength, the tears, the frustration. We hear of reclaiming power. Most importantly, though, we learn. We learn we are not alone. We learn there is a community out there of people who understand, support, and care. We learn the power of knowing what it is like to be heard without being challenged, ignored, or minimized. We learn from one another about treatment options, coping strategies, good, caring health professionals. We learn that we are not alone. So join with me today. Make some noise. Cheer, clap, celebrate. Together we can and we will make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jan, for taking the time to speak with us all today. I would like to take a moment to let everyone know that our Toronto support group has gone virtual and continues to meet on the second Thursday of each month. We also have our second Canada-wide virtual support group happening next month, so be sure to head over to the endometriosisnetwork.com to register as spaces are limited. Now, everyone is going to immediately feel the warmth and radiance of our next guest hailing from the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia. She was diagnosed with endometriosis in 2016, but lived as many of us do with undiagnosed symptoms for years. Her resilience, compassion, and humor are what brought her here today for Virtual EndoMarch. Everyone, please welcome the wonderful Jessica Harvey.
Hi, my name is Jessica Harvey. I'm a teacher, a singer, a writer, and I'm so honored to be talking to you today about my experience with endometriosis for the Virtual EndoMarch. I'm here in my garden with my cat on the Sunshine Coast on the ancestral unceded territory of the Sechelt First Nations people. I want to tell you about how it started for me, how it's impacted my life, and also how I've found ways to manage the disease. It started when I was a teenager, although I didn't realize it at the time, and I think that's pretty common for people, although there's nothing about this disease that's universal, so I can only speak for myself. But I remember being on the phone with my best friend when I was about 14 and my parents were out, and I was just double over in pain. It was so severe. I thought it was maybe appendicitis or I had to go to the hospital. Eventually it started to get better, and so I decided not to go. And I worried that I was just weak or that my pain threshold was low, and I wish I could go back in time and tell my young self, like, it's not normal to have it hurt that much. Not everybody's cramps are so bad, and you're not a wuss. There is a reason for it, right? I didn't discover the reason until many years later. That's actually pretty common. I think the average diagnosis time for endometriosis is 7 years. I think it's longer for people of color. And that has a lot to do with the taboos around menstruation still, which is crazy because we bleed every month and that's just a reality. So why not talk about it? I looked at a number of different options before we landed on the diagnosis of endometriosis. I also had some gastrointestinal issues because I have Crohn's disease, which I didn't know at the time, but discovered. So that complicated things. I think that's also true for a number of people, that there are multiple things happening at once and it's not straightforward. Eventually, I had a laparoscopy. I remember actually the first time my doctor mentioned endometriosis as a possibility, I was like, endo what? Because I had never heard of it. I think a lot of people have never heard of it. I know when I mention it, many people have to go home and Google it. And it's a really invisible disease, but 1 in 10 women have it. So there you go. I had my laparoscopy and they discovered mild to moderate disease at that point. And it was really liberating to put a name to it and to be able to talk about it. It was also really devastating to discover that there was no cure and that I might be living with it for the rest of my life, or at least until menopause. It was also devastating to realize that it's the leading cause of infertility. So the reason I had gone off the birth control pill and the reason my symptoms started to reemerge, because they'd been suppressed for a long time, was because my husband and I were trying to have a baby. And we've been trying since, I guess really trying for 4 years now, since my surgery, and we still haven't conceived, which is the hardest part for me, honestly. It's harder than the pain. There's not a lot of treatment options when you want to keep your uterus. And even if you have a hysterectomy, it doesn't necessarily solve everything. The pain and symptoms don't necessarily go away. For me, endometriosis has impacted every aspect of my life. It has impacted my career, my ability to do the things that I love, my relationship with my husband, who's been amazing through all of this. It's really hard for the people that love you too, and he's been my rock. So I'm really, really grateful for that. It's good to talk about it with your community and to let them know what's happening to you. I have a support network at work now. Even though it's hard to take time off and self-regulate as a teacher, I still find ways to do it, which is great. My family and friends have been awesome, and they give me, leeway and space for the days when I feel really bad. And that's just part of living with this ongoing. But there are so many ways to find relief and find ease. And I don't just mean pain medication, although finding a balance with that helps a lot. But, I found a lot of success through yoga, massage, meditation. Acupuncture has helped a bit. Herbal tea. I'm drinking ladies' mantle tea from my garden right now. Walks, exercise really helps. Even when you're in a lot of pain, if you can get up for 10 minutes and go for a little walk, you will find some relief. At least I have. I also have found managing my diet and my stress really helpful. And practicing gratitude, taking joy in this amazing world that we live in. It's not the life I planned for necessarily. I didn't want to have endometriosis when I grew up, when I was a kid. But now that I have it, I feel like, I'm not alone. There's a whole sisterhood of women out there and people who don't identify as women suffering from endometriosis, and they know what endobelly is, and they know how crappy it can be, but they also know how strong it can make you to overcome challenges like this. And all of you out there in the virtual EndoMarch, I see you. You're not alone. I hope that by talking about it, by reaching out to your community, by finding moments of joy, whatever works for you, that you're able to find some relief from this. And I do hope that with more research that we'll find some better treatments or a cure, because I don't think we should have to suffer from it. Thank you so much for listening. Happy EndoMarch.
Thank you, Jessica, for sharing your vulnerability and strength with us today. Before we move on to our first interactive segment of this event, I would like to remind everyone to sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date with what's happening in our community and to check out our new blog full of educational content and fantastic self-care info. Okay, it is time to get yourselves into a comfortable position, however that may be, and enjoy a peaceful guided meditation with our dear friend, Myah.
Hi everyone, this is Myah with nogranola.com, a new website for endo patients, partners, and practitioners. I'm also a certified meditation teacher who specializes in working with women's health and chronic condition patients. No granola essentially just refers to the style of meditation that I practice and teach. It is simple, secular, and straightforward. I began using meditation during my journey with endometriosis as a way to calm my central nervous system and deal with the stress and ambiguity of it all. And meditation made such an impact on my treatment that I certified as a teacher with Unplugged Meditation so that I could work with fellow patients. Today for EndoMarch, I had planned to do a meditation to ease physical pain. But with the pandemic times that we're living in, I feel like rising stress levels and restless nights are something that we might want to tackle instead. So what I'm going to do is adapt a visualization that fellow Unplugged teacher Tracy Stanley uses and that I use to help quiet a restless mind. So before we begin, I will ask you to take note of a spot on your head. So if you go to the center top of your head, and go down a couple of inches, maybe give it a little tap. This is the area that we're going to be using in our visualization today. Okay, so I'll invite you to find a comfortable seat, lie down if you wish, and take a nice, slow, deep breath in, and close your eyes. And as you exhale deeply, push out all the air in your lungs. And allow yourself to breathe at your own pace, taking some time to feel where you're at right now. Bring some awareness to the sensations in your body. The quality of your breath, and the thoughts that may be flickering around in your mind. Whatever you're noticing, that's okay. Feel the air of your inhales and exhales flowing in and out of your nostrils. And as you breathe, use these inhales and exhales to help your body soften and relax. And I'd like for you to now picture a line running across your forehead from one ear to the other ear. And visualize this line as a lake, a body of water that's still and peaceful. And visualize now the point at the back of your head, imagining a bright, shining, full moon that illuminates the lake across your forehead. And every time you have a thought, the lake ripples. But when the thoughts start and cause the ripples across the water, repeat to yourself, ease, and allow the power of that word to dissolve the ripples. And as another thought comes up, repeat the word, ease. And see the moon in your mind's sky, gazing at your lake and thinking to yourself, ease. Bring attention back to your breath, to your inhales and your exhales, trying to lengthen your inhale and drawing out your exhale, settling into a deeper breath. And as you prepare to come back, bring the palms of your hands together, rubbing them to generate some tingly heat. And rest the palms over your closed eyes, feeling the soothing warmth. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in and exhale fully. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for sitting with me today. If you'd like to do a one-on-one Zoom meditation session, I'm offering a free half-hour session to my fellow warriors to help get through this pandemic. Visit nogranola.com and use code TENC30 to redeem. And I'll also throw in a trial subscription to Unplug Meditations app. Be well, and see you soon.
Thank you, Myah, for being here with us all today. I hope that everyone enjoyed the meditation, and please let us know how you're feeling in the comments. We'd love to know. I would like to take a moment now to let everyone know that our Run to End Endo events are not canceled. They have been safely postponed, with Edmonton's event taking place in September and the Toronto event in October, so keep your eyes peeled for more info to come. Many of you may already know our next guest, or you may have followed her story like I have. She is truly an inspiration to all. She's a vocal endometriosis advocate, and I am so honored to have her here joining us from the East Coast. Everyone, this is Michelle Avery.
My name is Michelle, and I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm here to tell you a bit about my journey with endometriosis, adenomyosis, interstitial cystitis, and chronic pelvic pain. Like many of us, my pain started with my first period. It seemed very extreme to me, but I was told it was normal and I just needed to suck it up. After a few years of terrible period pain, my doctor suggested birth control, and that seemed to keep things somewhat under control for a few years. Under control meaning I was able to work full-time and have a bit of a social life, but my periods were hell. I do consider myself one of the lucky ones in that birth control did mask my symptoms enough to enjoy my 20s. However, around my 30th birthday, I was found to have a small brain aneurysm, and my neurosurgeon told me I had to stop taking hormones of any kind. That was when all hell broke loose. Without birth control to mask my symptoms, my body went through horrible changes really quickly. My pain with periods went through the roof. Soon after, my pain increased during ovulation, and then it was almost every day. I was missing a lot of work and barely had a social life. As the pain increased, I eventually lost my job, as I could no longer be a reliable employee. I continued seeing my family doctor, trying to find answers. She told me it was all in my head, and sent me to a hypnotherapist who tried to convince me that my pain wasn't real, which just kind of made me want to scream. Yeah, kind of like that. I didn't go back to the hypnotherapist, but out of desperation, I saw my GP a few more times. I had done a lot of research about endometriosis and suspected I might have it. When I mentioned that to her, she sent me to get my hormone levels tested. When they came back within normal ranges, she said I couldn't possibly have endometriosis and refused to refer me to a gynecologist. I eventually found a doctor to refer me and had a diagnostic lap surgery at age 37. 7 years after stopping birth control and going through all the hell and pain, I finally had confirmation that something was wrong. My surgeon was not an endo specialist, but did remove a lot of endo. He did a cystoscopy and confirmed interstitial cystitis. He also noted that my uterus was bulky. Unfortunately, after surgery, my pain only got worse. The anesthesiologist even told me today, we don't know how to help people with endometriosis. For the next year, I fought with everything I had in me to see an endo specialist out of province, since Nova Scotia didn't have one. After many painful months and many ER visits, eventually I did.
Michelle Avery says it's become so bad she can't sit down for more than a few minutes at a time.
I can't drive, I can't work, I can't go to the movies. I've isolated a lot. I've become, the absent friend, the absent daughter, the absent aunt.
Last June, I packed up the car and drove 14 hours to spend 3 weeks in Ottawa, where I had a hysterectomy for adenomyosis, excision, my appendix removed, and received some nerve blocks.
Today is day 5 post-op, and I am finally feeling pretty good.
For the first 4 months after surgery, I couldn't believe the difference. I could wear jeans again. I was hiking and dancing like a fool in nature like I used to. I could have sex again. Sadly, as the nerve blocks wore off, life went back to pain and being stuck in bed. I tried everything from supplements, CBD, acupuncture, diet changes, naturopath, pain clinic, and so many medications. I had just started consistent pelvic floor physio when COVID-19 shut everything down. I know my pelvic pain at this point is mostly pelvic floor, bladder, and nerve pain, all as a result of what endo can do to our bodies over time. I wanted this video to be real, and the real truth is that I don't have a happy ending to share, at least not at this point. Unfortunately, my pain is still as bad today as it was before my surgeries. But the way I look at pain is completely different. I accept the pain isn't going away anytime soon, however, I'm hopeful it will someday. I'm so thankful for the support of groups like the Endometriosis Network Canada, my friends both online and off, my amazing endo specialist, my family, and a husband that helps pick me up every time I fall. Even though I live with a lot of pain, my life still has a lot of joy and value. Advocacy, art, and nature are my passions. I meditate, I dance like a fool when I can, because even though I live with chronic pain, I also live with the joy of life that chronic pain can't take away from me.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here today and sharing your strength with all of us. Before we move on to our next segment, I'd like to share some really exciting news with you all, and that is the formation of the Endo Act Task Force. It is an independent, pan-Canadian group of patients, providers, and researchers dedicated to catalyzing a national endometriosis action plan, similar to what has been achieved in Australia. This initiative was founded by us, the Endometriosis Network Canada, and CanSAGE, the Canadian Society for the Advancement of Gynecological Excellence, and is supported by the University of British Columbia Community Engagement. I'd also like to take a moment to make everyone aware that our very own Philippa Bridge-Cook is co-chair of this initiative. You're all going to want to stay up to date with this because there will be opportunities for patient involvement. So sign up for our newsletter and follow our social. All right, moving on to our next guest, I would like to introduce you all to Nellie Figeni, a 10C board member, a physiotherapist, and an overall extraordinaire. Grab your yoga mats and join us in these gentle guided stretches. We will also be closing the giveaway following this video, so if you haven't done so yet, get your guesses in now.
Hi there, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Nellie Figeni. I am a pelvic floor physiotherapist, and I'm going to be talking to you about some stretches with some focus on breathing and lengthening of the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor are a group of muscles that start from your pubic bone in the front, and they go all the way to the tailbone, and they go side to side. So they're this bowl-shaped structure at the bottom of our pelvis. When we take a deep breath in, our pelvic floor muscles relax. So we're going to encourage that relaxation with cues like pretending to pee or pass gas, or feeling your pubic bone and tailbone coming apart, or even your sits bones coming apart. So we're always going to focus on that while we're taking our deep breath in. So I'm going to do some stretches. You can join me if you like, or you can just watch. If you're joining me, please remember to listen to your body. Nothing should be uncomfortable. Everything should be feeling good. So don't do it as strong if it is uncomfortable, or stop. All right, so I'm going to first start off with lying on our backs. And I'm going to get you to bring your left knee towards your chest. And you're going to take a nice soft deep breath in and a slow breath out. When you take your deep breath in, think about your ribs expanding and that sensation like you're going to pee or pass gas, and a slow breath out. Bring your knee out towards the side Make sure it's comfortable and take a couple breaths here. Remember, when you take your deep breath in, that's when you're thinking about those lengthening cues of your sits bones coming apart, your pubic bone and tailbone coming apart, and slow breath out. Now hold on to the outside of your left leg if you can, and you're pulling up towards your chest. And we're going to do a couple breaths here. And slowly out. So remember, when you take your deep breath in, that's when you're going to pretend to pee or pass gas and lengthen your pelvic floor. And always a slow, extended breath out. Hold behind your knee and bring your toes towards your face. And you should feel a stretch on the back of your leg. And you're going to hold this, make sure your neck and shoulders are relaxed, and that you're only feeling a stretching sensation. Soft, deep breath in, and slow breath out. Let's do one more because this feels so good. Soft, deep breath in, and slow breath out. Let's do the other leg. So bring your knee up towards your chest. Hold it in a comfortable position. You can hold behind your knee if that's more comfortable for you. As long as it's not uncomfortable for your knee, you're going to do some nice, soft, deep breathing here. And because we're putting more focus on the pelvic floor, remember every time you take your soft breath in, that's when you're thinking about your pelvic floor lengthening. You want your tummy soft, your bum soft, a nice, gentle breathing, even thinking about your breath then expanding your ribs. Let your knee fall out and hold it in a comfortable position. We're going to do a couple breaths right here. Soft breath in. Slow breath out. Remember, your breaths in are coordinated with lengthening of your pelvic floor. Now hold the outside of your leg and you're bringing that up towards your chest and you're holding on to the outside of your knee. Soft, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Make sure your neck and shoulders are relaxed and that you're comfortable. When you're breathing in, think of lengthening your pelvic floor and slowly breathing out. Hold on to the back of your knee and you're bringing your toes up towards your face and you should feel a stretch on the back of your leg. Let's do 2 breaths here. Neck and shoulder relaxed. Soft, deep breaths into the ribs. And slow breathing out. One more time. Breathe in, think of the pelvic floor being relaxed. And slow breaths out. We're going to do a modified happy baby. Bring your knees up towards your chest and let them fall out. Only go as far as you're comfortable. So the movement is out and up, but you go and hold in a position that you're comfortable. So soft, deep breath in. Think about your sits bones coming apart. And slowly breathe out. Feel the air fill your chest, abdomen, and go right into the pelvic floor. And slow breaths out. Perfect. Let's come up to a tabletop position, only if you're comfortable on your knees. So knees shoulder width apart, hands shoulder width apart, flat back. So we're gonna go into cat and cow. So when you're going into cow, you're taking your deep breath in, your belly falls towards the mat. And as you come into cat, you're bringing your neck towards your chest and you're breathing out. Soft, deep breath in. Look up to where you're comfortable. Feel your sits bones come apart. Belly soft. And then come into cat. As you blow out, tuck your tailbone in, tuck your chin in. Soft, deep breath in. Gently look up. Belly to the floor. Sits bones come apart. Soft, deep breath in. And then blow out. One more time, soft, deep breath in. Belly to the floor, sits bones come apart, pelvic floor is relaxing. Looking up till you're comfortable. And then blowing out as you go into cat. Now put your feet together, your toes together, your knees are apart, and only if you're comfortable, sit back down towards your heels, reach towards the front of the mat, bring your forehead to the mat. Here we're going to do some soft, deep breathing. Remember when you take your deep breath in, feel your ribs expanding, the air fills your back, your low back, and your pelvic floor relaxes. Always a slow, extended breath out. One more soft, deep breath in. And slow breath out. I could stay in this position all day. One more time. Thank you for joining me on these stretches or just watching, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Nellie, for taking the time to guide us in these exercises today. If anyone wants to know any more info on Nellie or Myah, please head over to the endometriosisnetwork.com, and also let us know how you're feeling in the comments. Okay, everyone, I have got our winners here. First prize goes to Jenny Kelly, and second prize goes to Salima. Congratulations! We will send you both a message to coordinate. Thanks to everyone who participated. I would like to thank our Take 10 for 10C participants. It was so great seeing everyone's involvement, and we have actually gathered the photos and put together a little Take 10 collection for you all to enjoy after our last guess. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone that took the time to be with us here today on camera and behind the scenes, and thank you to the community. And just so that everyone is aware, this video will be available to rewatch on Facebook once the live stream is over. Okay, that's it for me. A final thanks to 10C for giving me the opportunity to host this event, and I hope to see you all at the next one. And now, without further ado, the lady that has helped me recognize the value in myself, she's become the rock of 10C. This is our Executive Director, Laura Pencer.
Hi, my name's Laura Pencer, and I'm the Executive Director of the Endometriosis Network Canada. Thank you so much for joining us today from across Canada and the world for our first ever 10C Virtual EndoMarch. It's so meaningful that even during these difficult times, we can still find ways to get together and support each other as a community. In my own personal struggle with endometriosis, it's been this community, the 10C community, that's given me the strength and support to keep going and the knowledge that I am not alone. 10C is predominantly volunteer-run, registered Canadian charity, and we are fueled by your generous donations. Thank you so much for making 10C a successful community, one which supports and educates those living with endometriosis, as well as the loved ones who support us. Our 10C community has had a really exciting month of May. Our first Canada-wide virtual support group was a success, and we are happy to announce that our next group will be June 7th. Please go to our website for more details and to register. Our Toronto support group has also gone virtual and is continuing to meet the second Thursday of the month. We have launched our new website where you can sign up for our monthly newsletter as well as read our weekly blog. Also this May, we've launched our Take 10 for 10C challenge, where we challenged you to move your body for 10 minutes a day for 10 days, and today is day 10. Congratulations, we did it! It's been so fun to see your photos online and share what gets you moving. Thank you for connecting together across Canada in movement. It's been so motivating. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. Today's phenomenal event would not have happened without the hard work of our volunteers, and I would like to take a moment to thank our Virtual EndoMarch team. Alexis and Nick, Shannon, Kirsten and Myah, thank you for your drive, dedication, creativity, and passion. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together. Thank you to Myah for the calming meditation, Nellie for the healing movement and breath work, Jan for your support, always. Thank you for your expertise. A special thank you to Jessica and Michelle for your courage and strength in sharing your patient stories. You're both an inspiration. Please know that we're here for you. Connect with us on social media, reach out by email at info@endometriosisnetwork.com, visit our website, or join a virtual support group. 10C is here to support you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait to hear from you, and a very happy Virtual EndoMarch.